Democrats are faced with the task of electing a new leader and building up the party once again. Nick Clegg resigned after all but 8 of their seats were lost. Well, let's cross live to Milnthorpe in Cumbria, where we can speak to one of the survivors, Liberal Democrat MP Tim Farron. Good to talk to you, Mr Farron. One commentator pointed out today that you could fit your parliamentary party in a generously sized family car. How are you going to recover?
Well, we must. The results were, of course, disastrous. They were worse than certainly I expected. That doesn't change the fact that I'm incredibly proud of all of my colleagues, those who survived and those who did not, for what we've achieved in the last 5 years, making Britain greener, fairer and more liberal and giving us that stable government for that time. And even with hindsight, I don't regret what the party chose to do 5 years ago. I think Nick Clegg's decision was brave and right and in the national interest, and history will be far kinder to Nick Clegg and to the Lib Dems over this last 5 years than perhaps folks have been in the last few days. But there's no doubt that we need to rebuild, and that means a fresh start. And that means rebuilding the party from the grassroots. And that means that, as far as I'm concerned, a role that I might play going forward, I want to listen to what members, other MPs, other parliamentarians, councillors and our activists have to say before I make any decision about what part I play.
Obviously a lot of speculation about whether or not you will stand as leader. The party's in a difficult position, aren't they? Because there just isn't anybody left in the Liberal Democrats that anyone's heard of.
Well, look, I mean, I'll tell you who is in the Liberal Democrats. Over the last 24 hours, 2,500 more people have joined the Liberal Democrats, which is amazing from many people's perspective. To my mind, it's amazing but not surprising, because they, like me, know that Britain has never more needed Liberals than it does today. We've just seen a general election that was won by the politics of fear and division, both within Scotland, run by the Scottish National Party, and within England with the victory for David Cameron's Conservatives. What we desperately need is not the politics of division and of fear and of the displacement of blame for our predicament onto the others, whether it be the English, the Scottish, Europeans, immigrants. No, what we need is a Britain which draws together with strong liberal values. There's never been more need for a Liberal Party, and I'm determined to play a big role in making sure that party survives and thrives.
Why do you think people are joining you but they didn't go out on Thursday and vote for you?
Well, that's one of those things. Perhaps you don't realise what you've got till it's gone, as somebody once wisely said. Well, the Liberal Democrats have not gone. We have had a very, very difficult result. I'm not going to pretend any otherwise. It's been devastating to see so many friends and colleagues who have paid with their careers for doing a brave and right thing for the country. But I am not prepared to put up with a notion that the Liberal Party will somehow become irrelevant and cease to exist. Our party will thrive and it will survive, and we will build up from the grassroots as we have before. Our party's been in worse position than this in the past, but I'm determined that this liberal space that is wide open in British politics and that absolutely nobody else occupies should be occupied to its full by resurgent Liberal Democrats.
Financially, how difficult is that going to be for you? You lost, what, £170,000 in lost deposits on Thursday. You've also lost a lot of your MPs in the traditional affluent suburbs of London. Can the party actually afford to go on?
Well, of course it can. I mean, resources are a challenge for every party after an election. Every party, that is, other than the Conservatives, who are bankrolled by the ludicrously wealthy. Our job, of course, however, is to draw all those people together from all parts of the United Kingdom who believe that there is a better and more hopeful future for British politics than that offered by nationalists, whether they're wrapped in the saltire or the Union Jack. We instead feel that there is a future for this party and a future for this country that is very, very bright. And the resources, well, they'll follow, because when people are inspired to back a movement, they'll back it with their effort, with their time, and indeed with their resources.
You said you're going to take a while to decide your next step. When will you decide whether you're going to stand for leader or not? Well, I'm saying now that the party is, I guess, cast by its very ethos, which is that we are a grassroots party. It's not something that is dictated to from the top down. So I am listening to members and activists, more members than there were 24 hours ago, which is great to know. Our other parliamentarians in Westminster, European Parliament, Scotland and Wales, and hearing their views. And that's what I'm doing just now. And either side of this conversation, listening to what people have to say, and my job surely is to respond to that, and I will do so, in the next few days. So we'll get a decision from you in the next few days? Well, I'm really nothing in and nothing out, and the decision is that our party absolutely must survive and thrive, and I'm determined to play a big role in making sure that happens. What role that is, well, that's up to the members, because that's how we do things in the Liberal Democrats.
OK, Tim Farron, thanks very much for talking to us. Now, David Cameron is finalising his plans for an all-Conservative government.